Good evening and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. The tide may be turning in Nigeria's fight against the terrorist group Boko Haram. The nation's military says it has uncovered a major Boko Haram bomb-making factory, and its security agency said on Sunday it has arrested 20 prominent members of the militant Islamist group accused of orchestrating deadly attacks. Both announcements come on the heels of Friday's latest round of brutal violence by the militant group, when 56 people were killed in a village in northeastern Borno State. Well, for more on Nigeria's fight against Boko Haram, Cynthia Areh, a reporter with Channels Television, joins us on the phone from Lagos. Good evening, Cynthia.
Good evening, Vincent.
Yes, now, with this kind of report you're getting, is this being seen as a major or significant gain by the military against Boko Haram?
Indeed, it is. I mean, this is not the first time we've heard that the Boko Haram is planning to come to Lagos or might be threatening to even bomb the Third Mainland Bridge, which was the case back in about 2010, thereabouts. Well, the truth is, security has always been in place in Lagos, but with this information, it's definitely heightened to some extent. And in truth, it does show that the security, the Department of State Security is indeed very active. And people are thrilled, somewhat troubled to some extent. Like, okay, it seems to be getting closer or away from the north, but at the same time, there's a sense of contentment with how it's been handled.
Now, we hear the arrests took place over a period of weeks. Is this something that anybody knew? Was there any visible activity that indicated that the authorities were looking for such people?
Oh, far from it. That was not the case. I mean, there were tip-offs, according to what we hear, tip-offs and some self-confessed situations, but there was no alert. We didn't know when all this was going on. We only heard the outcome of it. And I believe that's the safest way to go, because Boko Haram also has large intelligence and intel. They've got informants. They've got different ways of getting around and knowing their spots, the victims, and their targets. So it was a real hush-hush situation. There was no leaked information whatsoever. We only heard about it when they had made some arrests and some discoveries as well. Now,
we know that the government has made similar pronouncements in the past, even if it is the previous government, and people sometimes are skeptical. To what extent are people taking this seriously?
Oh, they're taking it seriously because the president is taking this serious. I mean, it was part of one of the promises he made during campaign, the crackdown on Boko Haram, saying they would be wiped out. And once he was inaugurated, we saw that he hit the ground running. So in truth, people are waiting to see more tangible results. But the fact that the president has hit the ground running, we've seen him in various meetings, liaising with various presidents and various organizations on the crackdown against Boko Haram. That has brought a sense of contentment. We're content with how he's addressing it.
Yes, one of the things people have been asking. Okay. One of the things people have been asking is, how about the girls? Any leads up to this point? The Chibok girls.
The girls are not forgotten. They're still. We have a reminder every day, either in the news or with 500 days, for instance. We're still. We've also heard about how he said he would approach the situation if it came down to that, in terms of willing to negotiate. So it's not forgotten. But just like this case of having discovered or having apprehended some Boko Haram militants in Lagos, it's also being kept hush-hush, because you can't put it out there, the steps that are being taken. But one thing that we're constantly reminded of is that they've not been forgotten. And in truth, I think Nigerians are satisfied with the fact that the president has that on the front burner, even though he hasn't brought out a blueprint for us to see the direction to which it's going. But we do know that he's making certain moves.
Well, Cynthia, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Cynthia. Cynthia Areh is a reporter with Channels Television in Lagos, Nigeria.